Right. 30 May 2025. And today I would like to give you my evening updates or my clarity update so that you go to bed knowing what is going on and what is important. Our country is just about to change. God wants to give Zimbabwe a new leader, and it is spiritual. We've told you many, many times what's happening is spiritual. Nyoka has told you many, many times. Zvine vadzimu mukati, zvina Mwari. Go back to Nyoka's audios if you want to understand. That is why you see no fear from me. I don't have fear. I arrived at court today, and in the middle of all the threats, you've never seen me hesitating. You've never seen me afraid, because I know what is going to happen. We're going to have a new leader in our country, and the new leader that we're going to get is going to be a clean leader who does not lie, who does not cheat, who does not steal. So God has shown me, God has shown Nyoka, God has shown all the people that know. And currently, there are people that are pretending, that think they will take over. Havaitori nyika iyi kana vachinyeba, havaitori nyika iyi kana vachiita zvinoita Mnangagwa. So all those people, netupfuti twenyu, netumathreati twenyu, hamuitori nyika iyi. Because God wants a clean leader for our country. So get it in your ears. Let it be clear. Hamuitori muchinyeba. And tomorrow, I'm going to expose some people very, very badly. Tinokubatai vakomana, musatamba nezviri kuitika. Nyoka uyu, hamumutori. I can tell you now, all of you guys, you will take me first, then mozotora nyoka. Muchanyeba, zvekunyeba, kusvika mazvimba, but hamumutori nyoka. Muchatanga matora ini, saka chiuyai mutonditora. Manzwa here vakomana, chiuyai munditore. Netupfuti twenyu, nekunyeba kwenyu, netumagurupu twenyu. Tangai iko zvino munditore, mozotora nyoka. Hamumutori. I can assure you that nyoka hamumutori. We've got him. We've got the best interests of nyoka. And as I said, tomorrow we're going to expose some people very, very quickly and very, very badly. Now let's go to what's important, which is what happened in court today. Nyoka, for the first time, has appeared without a suit. Something has happened. He's not feeling well. And Nyoka did not come from under. So for the first time, he was not in the cells. He was somewhere else. So they took him through the door. So he came through the corridors. So I'm not sure where he came from. But today, Nyoka did not come from where normally prisoners come. So he was being kept somewhere else. And as I said, there is a lot that happened in court today. Particularly, I'm going to show you what it looked like in court today. So you'll never see this picture anyway. This is the situation in court today. So that was me sitting over there. You can see that armed riot there, one there. There were 4 more on this side, 2 outside. That is what it looked like inside. And because of the order of the court, only 4 people were allowed inside the court. However, the riot police said they will manage the situation and they allowed in. So approximately there were 10 of us in court, including some of the well-known figures who are well-known politicians in Zimbabwe, and also people that come on this platform, including Anna General Stole. They were there. There was a guy there from a new party, Anonzi Godwin. I'll bring him here to explain himself. And then we had Freedom was there. We had some guys. So all the guys that I talked about in the past who are connected to this case are there. And if you go to Facebook, you are going to see quite a number of people who were there. Anagogo, there are 2 or so grandmothers who follow this case. They were there. And then in terms of the legal team, Yugi from Lahela and Attorney is our attorney. She was reading the case. She was reading the papers. And then we have got an advocate who prepared the papers. We are going to unpack for you what's happening with the legal team. And as I said, there is no person besides myself who is allowed to talk about the legal team because they don't know. So what they're telling people is not accurate. And I've talked to the administrators of Nyokayemabhunu to say they must not talk about the legal case because they do not know what is going on. And because they've been lying, so the Sarwaka has been lying and Mdzimbo have been issuing death threats on me. Tomorrow I'm going to expose them very, very badly. And I'm going to do so through a recording, which we've taken. So we're going to release a recording. I only release a recording when people lie. So today, Sarwaka lied that I was at the prison to see Nyokayemabhunu at 6 a.m. I called Sarwaka, I called Ndokozo, and I told them to remove those lies. They refused to remove the lies. It's not clear to me why they have to lie. That I was at you saw me here live at 6 a.m. So how can I be here at 6 and then visit Nyoka again in prison? So we need to stop the lies. And I don't want people who represent Nyoka to lie. We are not going to allow it. And we're not going to allow Nyoka to be represented by people who lie for whatever reason. I don't know who they're working for and what they're doing, but we'll not allow it. So azviite zvavari kuita, and they are not going to do it in the name of Nyoka. We are not going to allow it. We are paying for the lawyers. I am being briefed by the lawyers. The strategy that you're seeing currently right now in court, it's part of the strategy that I've agreed with the lawyers. So hatizvibvume zvavari kuita vakomana, hatitongwe nevanhu vanoshanda mumapurazi, hatizvidi. We want structure, we want order, we want vanhu vanoziva zvavanoita. And kana munhu akatsiurwa, tikakutsiura kuti have discipline, hatidi vanhu vanoramba vachingoita the same indiscipline. So Sarwaka and Mudzingwa, they are showing indiscipline, and we are going to deal with it. Hatidi vanhu vane indiscipline, especially nechigroup chavari kunyora zvinhu zvenhema. And issuing death threats here in South Africa is a crime. If they continue, we are going to make sure that they are dealt with. Hatidi zvinhu zvakadaro in the name of Nyoka. Nyoka, Mudarageza, they've never done what these guys are doing. So hatidi zvinhu zvakadaro, and they must stop forthwith. Tomorrow I'm going to release the recording so that we clarify what is going on. And isusu hatitambi, handiswere ndichitaura ndisati ndataura kuti Mnangagwa ari kuuraya vanhu nenzara. Ukaona munhu anoita video kutanga richitanga kusvika kwekupedzisira asati ati Mnangagwa, achingoti Gambakwe, 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 Mnangagwa abva here. Abva here Mnangagwa, zvamuri kungoti Gambakwe. So what is this Gambakwe wamuri kutaura Mnangagwa achiripo pachigaro achiuraya vanhu nenzara? Ukaona munhu ari kudaro munhu waMnangagwa. And isusu hatiri kutyei vakomana. Inini, what I am doing is spiritual. It was given to me by God. And kana muchida uyai muone zvichaitika. Every threat you put against me, it will turn towards you. It will happen, and you're going to see it. And you're gonna fear kana day one. Next week, you're going to see me at court. Kana muchida uyai netuputi twenyu tione. Nofunga kuuraya vanhu kunoshamisira here. Zvoshamisira here. Tikuda kubvisa Mnangagwa ari kuuraya vanhu. Iwe uri kuuya nekapfuti kako nekathreat kako. We don't want that. Kana zvinhu zvamuda kuita ibvai apa. I will never be part of it. I will never be part of vanhu vanoswera vachithreatena vanhu, vanoswera vachinyeba. I will never be part of it. And I can tell you right now, even if they spend the whole day lying about me, I will never be part of the same thing that we are removing from Mnangagwa. Toenda foot kunomwe Mnangagwa. I will not do that. So let's make sure, let's be clear. And let us be clear. Posta ikamwe ka audio kunyeba foot. I will never be part of the Mnangagwa regime. And I'll never sell out for 30 pieces of silver. Right, now let's go. Today we had the court case. So we had the closing arguments that were read by Yugi, as I said, prepared by the attorney. And according to what has happened, we have a very good chance of Nyoka coming out on bail. So I can put it at close to 60 to 70% chance. The issues that were ventilated are three. So there are three issues that were ventilated. Firstly, the fraud case in Zimbabwe. Then there's the immigration issue. And then the fraud case in Santon. So there are three cases. The Zimbabwe issue, the defense said that issue has expired because it came from 2014 and the Nyoka was never called and he does not know that there was a conviction. So that was the argument there. So if a case happened in 2014 and you're supposed to pay restitution by 2025, which is 11 years, that case, they're saying that it has expired. It is no longer of force or effect. However, in response, the prosecution said a conviction cannot expire. So that was the argument from the prosecution, that a conviction cannot expire and the issues are going to be ventilated on extradition. So if he's extradited to Zimbabwe, that is when there's a ventilation of those issues. So that was the argument there. So eventually, how that ended is, obviously, as you can see, there are two affidavits. The one that was presented by the defense and the one that was presented by the prosecution. So the judge is going to make a decision. Kuti, is that case going to be thrown out? And is that case, or does that stand? Should it be extradited? So remember, this is a bail. This is just a bail hearing. And the decision is it going to be tried inside of jail or outside of jail? So then let's go to the immigration case. The immigration case was then said, once a foreigner has applied for asylum, they are now supposed to be released on bail. So that is a case law. And the defense said that the prosecution said the defense has not tried to conduct home affairs. It's both parties that are supposed to conduct home affairs. Because the defense was saying, ever since they applied, Home Affairs has never made any attempt to interview Nyoka. And therefore, it means the delay is not on their part, it's on the part of Home Affairs. However, the prosecution said it's not only Home Affairs that's supposed to make a move, but it's also the defense. They're supposed to contact Home Affairs, and then they'll get that asylum done. So the question is, did he commit a crime by being in South Africa? And the defense says he should not be tried under the Immigration Act, but under the Refugees Act. So I guess you understand what's going on with that particular case. This case is regarding whether Nyoka is in South Africa illegally and therefore should be taken out or deported back to Zimbabwe. I think in that particular case, the defense did very, very well. I don't see any problems with what they've done. I think they've ventilated the issue very clearly, that instead of being under immigration, it's supposed to be under Refugees Act. However, the prosecution has produced two damning pieces of evidence, which is a passport. They've produced a passport which Nyoka was using, and the defense has said that passport is with the state, so it's no longer a travel document. And the argument was whether that is still a travel document or not. So I hope that you guys understand what has happened there. Nyoka, was he traveling on a false document, or he was just holding that document, as the defense was saying that he was only keeping it in his car because he's the only one who had a place to keep the passport. So those are the issues that were ventilated in course regarding the immigration and the asylum application. I see this as a simple matter. Once you apply for asylum, I don't think there is a question about it. You now have legal status in South Africa if you are granted that asylum. So it's important at this point to try and get that asylum going. If that asylum application is started, then I see a big change. That case likely to fall away. And that leaves us with the 2 fraud cases. Now, let's go to the 3rd case, which is the case of Shumba, Honest Shumba. So apologies, just 1 second here. So Honest Shumba is the man that accused the Nyoka of taking 3 deposits from him for sofas. Now, the defense was arguing that it doesn't make sense that Honest Shumba says he was robbed of sofas, money for sofas. The question is, firstly, the money, the last payment done to Nyoka was 7 days before his arrest. So, does it make sense that someone says, you robbed me of sofas, and then they deposit the money into account 7 days before your arrest? So, they then say this money which was being deposited was for politics. It was political support, which was coming from Shumba to Nyokayemabhunu. So I think you can clearly see that this case, when you look at it very clearly, it is not really a strong case on the part of the state. That is what the defense was saying, that it's not a strong case and the case is very, very weak. That is why I give it 70%. However, there was drama when the defense tried to reopen the application. So the bail application, they wanted to restart the whole process because some of the issues they were raising were never raised before. So take, for example, the fact that Nyoka is a WhatsApp group with 225,000 followers. That issue was never raised in the papers. So now when they were raising it, the prosecution was saying, you're introducing new information. The death of the wife of Nyoka, that became topical. The judge has never heard that Nyoka's wife died after being beaten in Zimbabwe. And the prosecution was like, where did she die? Did she die in Zimbabwe or in South Africa? And then that became an issue. So the judge was stunned. I could see this, the judge was totally stunned to hear that the death of Nyoka's wife was due to the beating by Zimbabwean authorities. You remember I talked about the death of the wife of Nyoka. Nyoka, while in Zimbabwe, was detained by the police together with his wife. They were kept, and the police beat them and tortured them so badly. And one police put his foot on the head of the wife of Nyoka, and they fled to South Africa. On arrival in South Africa, she got so sick that they had to take her back home. On arrival at home, she died within 2 weeks. And therefore, this became very topical. And it was said to see the situation in court at that time. Remember, what this I'm saying, it was like this. This is what the court was like. There was no people here today. And it was me sitting here at the corner, and the rest of the guys sitting over there. And these police were carrying machine guns. They were not playing. So what they said, they made us all switch off our phones. So one guy didn't switch off his phone. The phone rang. You know what? They took the guy out, and it was just by a little inch that they didn't throw him into the cells, because they were very, very serious about what they were doing. So that is the case of, like the 3rd case of Honest Shumba. So now you understand the 3 cases. Are they strong enough for a man to spend 42 days in jail? And Yugi then went on to speak about Nyoka and how much he is in South Africa, fleeing for his safety, and that he needs to be released for human rights purposes because this man is fighting for freedom. And the judge had to stop the whole thing and say, You are becoming all emotional. I loved when you said that you are becoming emotional and you get to apologize and say, I'm sorry, Your Honor. I just can't help but talk about this because that is what is important. So she spent a lot of time talking about the human rights issue, the issue of human rights, and the work that Nyoka is doing in Zimbabwe was clearly ventilated for more than 20 minutes. I think Yugi spent almost 20 minutes talking about it. The guys were in court. They were all impressed by this performance by Yugi. She did very, very well. And I'm sure that the judge, wherever she is, has got no doubts about this. However, she refused to reopen the application, the bail application, to allow them to reintroduce these facts. So the previous papers that were done did not have some of this information about who Nyoka is, what was happening in Zimbabwe, and also in terms of the coup, what role Nyoka played before the coup, and why it is that he left before the coup and not after the coup. So that all happened. It was quite important in the presentation by Yugi, who tried to explain that Nyoka realized that the coup was coming and he had to flee Zimbabwe, because that's a key part of the argument. However, all that is not important. What's important is Nyoka a flight risk? Will Nyoka interfere with the trial? And also, is he a good candidate for bail? So I believe that the lawyers, our lawyers, have done very, very well. They've done a good job. The case has moved very quickly. What could have happened was we're going to have another 2 months just working on this case. But within the past 2 days, the lawyers have compressed everything. The advocate last night did not sleep working on this case. So that is amazing. And that is the situation which is there currently. So on the 10th, we're going to get a response or an answer on the actual bail application. 10th of June is Tuesday, the 10th of June. We're going to hear if Nyoka has been granted bail or not. So what do I think? I think the guys should quickly work on the asylum application. Very important. That will collapse the immigration case. The extradition case is very weak. It's just over $2,000. So Nyoka has a plea bargain in Zimbabwe, which he ended. So let me explain to you how that plea bargain came by. Nyoka was the chairman of Taura Europa Housing Cooperative. Himself and 2 other people were arrested. On the time when Mnangagwa was taking over from Mjuru, they were arrested. This was political. So when they were arrested, Nyoka pleaded guilty himself. And the other guys told them not to plead guilty, the other 2. It's not like he took the money himself. The money was taken by the cooperative. It's not Nyoka who took the money. It is the cooperative, the Taura Europa Mjuru cooperative. So he paid back 700 out of the money, which was about 3,000. And then an amount of 2,200 was not paid. That was in 2014. Whilst they were waiting to be called back to court, these payments were happening. And you know what happened to the Zimbabwe dollar? So it kept crashing. And eventually, by 2017, Nyoka left Zimbabwe, fled Zimbabwe without finishing the payment. So this is actually not a criminal case. It's another civil case that happened over there in Zimbabwe. So the extradition is not backed by any papers. That is what the defense was saying. There is no papers. There is nothing. It's just a bunch of allegations from 2014, which are over 16 years old. You can see how bizarre it is that someone is being extradited for $2,000 from 2014. It makes no sense that someone can be extradited for such a case. So that case is probably going to collapse. The extradition case is going to collapse. Honest Shumba's case is garbage. You can't give someone money on a Monday, and then on a Friday, you go and say that person isn't delivered, and they must be kept in jail, and they must be tried for 47 days in jail. That is crazy. So you can clearly see that the case or the cases against Nyoka are bogus, and it's because of Mnangagwa. Mnangagwa arikuuraya vanhu nenzara. Mnangagwa akabroka Auxilia akabroka, Kuda akabroka, Sean akabroka, Emerson Jr. akabroka, Pasinavo Varoy. Right, let's go now to the comments, and I like it. So still, it won't qualify for extradition. Yes, Mkomamo boys, I like it. I like what happened in court today. I wish it came over, but the guns were out. Big guns were out. So on the 10th, you'll be telling us drama again. We know you. Yes, there'll be drama. Very much. Big drama. Who is Honest Shumba? Is the one who got Nyoka arrested. Yes. Honest Shumba is the member of the Zimbabwe intelligence. He has brought a number of people to the courts according to information that we've got. It's not the first time that he's brought people. When Nyoka was arrested, there were certain people who were present. I've got their names. So, Anasarwaka, Anamdzingwa, what I want you guys to understand is I sit with the lawyers. We talk about the strategy. We talk about the case. So, kana muchi update vanhu. Zvatikuudzai kuti musa update vanhu. Why we tell you not to update people is so that you don't say things that are not correct. We're not saying we want to take over or want to be in charge. So when Nyoka was arrested, there were certain people that were around during that time. We know them. Some of them are talking, but they were there when Nyoka was arrested. So what happened is Honest Shumba took 11 guys, including Nyoka, to the police. And eventually, the 11 guys were released. And Nyoka is the only one who was left there. However, there is a whole bunch of other guys who were abducted. I talked to you about it, who were kept in Randburg. So, Honest Shumba, his arrest of Nyoka and his charges were based on a fabrication and a trap. That is how they trapped Nyoka to come to Johannesburg. They also took money from his bank and withdrew it. Thousands and thousands of dollars that they withdrew, of rands, sorry, which they withdrew from his bank account. And they did this because they knew where his bank account was. They took his card. This is criminal activities. This was not said in court. What I'm telling you here, if the case was to be reopened and during trial, all these things are going to come out. You're going to see it again. Exactly my argument. I don't think that case is all qualified to Interpol and extradition. Yes, it doesn't qualify. But remember, what we're talking about is bail. The judge kept saying, this is bail. This is not a trial. So Yugi did a lot. She did a lot. And I think General Stone will tell you, if you phone him, what he thinks about what Yugi was doing. But she did very well. And the sympathy of the court is with Nyoka. Nyoka is going to do very well here. The man is innocent. He's being framed. Nangagwa is evil. Aka broker. Nangagwa aka broker. Then Mbuso, Gabako, do you know how a machine gun looks like? Yes. Let me show you what a machine gun looks like. You see that gun that they're holding there? If you see that guy who's sitting there, that one has a machine gun. That one has got a... Do you see his neck and his gun? They're next to each other. That is what I'm talking about. Maybe I may not know the exact name, but his neck and the gun. His gun is as long as himself. That's all I can say to you. And these guys are not playing. The guys that were there. And on the 10th, don't tucha. That's Government Machiti. And I could quote him not demonstrator. And I Zimbabwe embassy. Not demonstrator. The judges at the court did not arrest Nyoka. They've got no interest in politics. So don't bring your people to court to protest there. Everyone knows Nyoka. Everyone knows Gambakwe. Inside the court, the judge knows me. When I walk there, she knows my name. And I'm not even a court official. Don't go and protest at the court. Go and protest at the Zimbabwe embassy. So Mnangagwa ariku embassy, not kwa. And don't issue threats on me. Don't do it because I'm the guy who's paying for the lawyers. I'm the guy who's giving strategy for the lawyers. Vanhu venyu vese vari kunyeba havasi kubhadhara malawyers. None of the guys vari kutaura have paid the lawyers. They've taken the money and used it. Hapana kana one anokwanisa kubudisa kuti akabhadhara mari to a lawyer. So they're lying. And worse, yesterday we had a meeting with some of the guys at my hotel. They said they're going to pay the lawyers after the meeting. Do you know what they did? They switched off their phones. They switched off their phones. In the transfer to the lawyers as agreed. Vakadzima mafoni. Guys, I don't want kuswera ndichinetswa nevanhu vasina basa. I don't have time for it. Inini, I'm a man of my word. I am clean. I've never taken anyone's money. And I will never take money from Mnangagwa. But pane who lie every day coming to people muchivapa false hope yokuti hey isusu tinogona kudai togona kudai. Uchishanda mufamu unoita sei? Hatidi zvinhu zvakadaro. Hatidi kutongamirwa nevanhu vasina track record. We want Nyoka to come out. But if I see another threat coming against me, and if these guys don't withdraw their lies, I'm going to sue them. Because handidi munhu anoshandisa chiplatform chake kunyeba. So I'm giving Mudzingwa and Saruwaka the night tonight to reverse their false statement. Yokuti ninda unaona Nyoka ku cells. I was sleeping peacefully in my bed at the hotel, lying quietly. Inini ndorara kana ndakapedza kuita shoot yangu on a Friday. That's the day when I sleep. And the Thursday. So today, because I'm not at home, I then took the opportunity to sleep. Right. So ndakumuka, I'm waking up to hundreds of death threats. Vapfana, munoda kureplace Mnangagwa anouraya vanhu, muchida kuraya vanhu futi. Come on, guys. Mnangagwa is killing people. Iwewe uda kuuya uchidza vanhu kuti unouraya stereki. What's that? Chii ichocho? Handidi nyika ine vanhu vanouraya vanhu. Iwe uri kuuya futi nema-threats death. Zidzoro. Zidzoro rako rakazara mvura. Hatidi vanhu vanoita zvokuuraya izvo. Unouraya chii? What are you killing? Unoda kutidzira nedeath. Hatina basa nazvo izvo. So I don't want to hear zvinhu zvakaora kudaro. Guys, we must not have a country which is reliant on such garbage. Hatidi vanhu vakadaro. Don't get a bit of a platform and think kuti toda Mnangagwa nezvinhu zvake zvari kuita. We don't want it. Mnangagwa is busy threatening people, abducting people, making people disappear. And you're coming out there on a platform set up in Nyoka's name and say to uraya munhu, tumudisappear, tumubata, tumukavisa bucket. What's that? And imimi vanhu muri kuombera zvakapusa kudaro. Hatidi, we want a new country, want a clean country. I want a country that will make me proud. When I go into it, I want to be proud to be in my country. Hatidi zvinhu zvakapusa. So, guys, Shamizu, you got a good question. They're now talking of killing. Who's Gananda now? Yes. If someone tells you, could being strong means you not around Ndora Moon, can do disappear moon, in and this and body and a day, and in you will never be afraid of me. So let's say in ini Ugandituka. You go to house, you sleep peacefully. Omuka, you see your wife, you hug your kids, you go to school. If you talk anything about Mnangagwa, tomorrow you'll be killed, you'll be abducted, you'll be put in jail for days. Look at Blessed, he was put in jail for 90 days. Nyamakanga, yakabuda kupenga. Ask him Jerry. How many days they put him in jail? Because I just couldn't get him sunga. Those later van, because they live in an evil country. We want a clean country. We are Mutori Gambagwe, but Nyoka, Amumutori. That's what I can tell you. Amumutori Nyoka. And I mean it. Check me. Mwende mwita za moda. but Nyoka mutori. Inini pakoti ndikuenda ndenda nema lawyers foot, and we are paying those lawyers. We are going to make sure that there will be a day when Nyoka is out. And don't think about me, the basanas. And the basanas. Guys, I have got an MBA. Ndakaenda kuchikoro. But andishandi munhu, I work myself. I work hard with my hands. I don't take money from people. And I don't steal, I don't lie, I don't cheat. I don't come here to get anything from people. And it's ndosaka ndichiti. Let's build a new country. We don't want to replace Mnangagwa nevamwe vanhu vari worse than Mnangagwa. And zvinhu zvese zvamuri kuita nhasi, stop it. Regai. Yes, anoshanda mufamu ndisaruwaka here. Mudzingwa ndiye anoshanda mufamu. We've ever seen Mudzingwa. Do you know him? So every time ukaona platform ine munhu wasingaoni face yake, that is Mnangagwa. Chatufa is Mnangagwa. Ukaona munhu asingabudisi face yake, munhu iye ndi Mnangagwa. I've already told you, criteria is simple. Kana munhu anoita video akadzima face yake, ndi Mnangagwa. Mudzingwa is Mnangagwa. Chatufa is Mnangagwa. Uyu Zimbabwe Chikanza akabhadharwa na Auxilia. I've got it on record. I've got a recording. Notaura izvozvo. Pandiri apa. Akabhadharwa and they promised him tenders. Angorotomoka. Atidi vanhu vanorotomoka. Nyika ndedu yakomana. Let's create a clean country. Inini ndikadonedzwa. Toitawo vamwe. But inini I've done my bit. I've been here since 2010. I went to the United States of America. And I was walking at the beach. Then I looked across the sea. And I looked at the trees. It's the same as the trees in here in Africa. I looked at the sand. It's the same. I look at the people. It's the same. And then I realized something. The only thing that I need to change was me and the way I think. That is how I started my media house. Previously, Dandine, the NAST Observer, the NAST, Ukunast, in 1998, we started the NAST Observer newspaper, which was funded by the Student Representative Council of the NAST. What I can tell you, and without a doubt, young people of our age must take over, but we must create order. We must have order. We must create a country where you can live where you are and come home. All this that we are seeing, it won't allow you to live where you are and come home. We don't want people who work in the shadows. We want people that are out and open and will support them. But if someone is being sneaky and being an evil liar and talking garbage, we must not follow such a person because it's not taking us where we're going. God loves our country. He wants to give us a new leader. But hamuitongi, rekaindi kupedzisira kudai, hauitongi nyika iyi kana wakaita saMnangagwa, uchinyeba, uchiuraya vanhu, uchiba, zvinhu izvozvo, hauitongi. The time is coming and God is going to clean our country and hatidi zvinhu zvakapusa. Hapanzi if you touch Chatufu, you've touched me, bro. Show your face, Chatufa. Ukaona munhu anopedza video achingoti gambakwe, unondizira kupi, wambondona kupi. Urutaura gambakwe, wei, Mnangagwa abuda here. Bvunzai munhu wese mubvunzo iyoyo, Mnangagwa aenda here. Muri kuti zuva rese naGambakwe. Uri budisa kapfuti kako, enda unofura Mnangagwa. Enda budisa kapfuti kako, ufure Mnangagwa ari kuuraya vanhu. Iko zvinezvo vanhu vari kutakwa nemota pakwekwe apa, pakafa vanhu 12. Mota dzakaita head on. Pakarodi kakadai so. KaMnangagwa. Waona here bridge rafurwa naMnangagwa. Uri kubudisa kapfuti kako. Uchiti ndofura Gambakwe, fura Mnangagwa. Tione. But leave Chatufa Gambakwe. If Chatufa stops talking about me, and he shows his face, as long as he hasn't shown me his face, he's Mnangagwa. Why is he not showing his face? If I'm showing my face and talking, why are you talking about me and you're hiding? So you're safe, ka? You're safe, you way. uri safe, aurohwi, aukwadzwi. Isusu tiri kubudisa mafaces edu. Uri kuti taure chi? Taura zvamunangapo. So we want you, if you don't want to show your face, don't talk about me. And that is clear. There's no question about it. And we're doing a lot. Don't think we're not doing a lot. I have spent weeks flying from Cape Town to Johannesburg. Cape Town, Johannesburg. Appreciate that. Don't say kuti ini ndichita effort. Iwe wakagara pakacheya kako, nekafoni kako, uchitaura zvangu. Do you understand? So, usabudisa kafoni kako uchitaura zvangu. Because I'm contributing, I'm going to play with my own money. I'm going to endanger myself in a public place. Iwe wakagara pakacheya kako. And no one is harming you. You don't have a right to talk about me until you show your face. And you put your own family in danger. And you put yourself in danger. Then you can talk about me. Otherwise, I won't gonna do any. Plus, wakatanga manji. I've been in this space since 2010. We built the foundation for you to be able to talk. So, I won't gonna do taura. You are a newcomer, mafikizolo. Right. I would like to pray for sanity among you front runners. Don't you think the enemy is busy laughing at us? I'm not insulting anybody. If someone threatens to kill me, I have to say something. So don't think, Kuti, I will just come here and you threaten to kill me and you lie that I went to see Nyoka. You clearly know that I didn't go and see Nyoka. The guy goes into Taritze. Mfana uyu ndamudza makuseni. Anza mfana uyu. Anonzi Saruwaka. The guy nomutarodzi. Apedza ipapo. Anoenda foot. Onoita repeat the same lie. Terera ipana. Saruwaka. Stop zvauri kuita. Handina kuenda kunovhizita Nyokayemabhunu kujere nini. And I have been asleep for the past 3 hours. Withdraw my messages or poster. Because unokwadzisa Nyokayemabhunu mukati mejere. People want you to be responsible. Don't pass my messages anoita confusion. I have got the lawyers that are currently representing Nyokayemabhunu. They haven't gone to the court or to the jail. I haven't gone to the jail. No one among us has gone to the jail. So why are you passing a message without asking me when you've got my numbers? Stop what you're doing right now. And you're causing confusion. Just make sure that people follow my instructions which are coming from the legal team. Stop what you're doing. Right. This message ndaitumira Nyoka at 11:08. Ndaitumira Saruwaka at 8:11. Afterwards, Saruwaka has put out messages, the same messages on their platforms. After I told them, not only that, I phoned the group administrator wa Nyoka. Ndikaita conversation naye ndikamudza kuti go and mustope zvamurikuita. Mangwana, I'm going to show you that conversation. I record. I'm going to play that conversation for you. Atidi vanhu vanoita samunangagwa. And don't think kuti ndikutamba. Atidi vanhu vane behavior yamunangagwa. Uchida kutora, uchida kubvisa munangagwa uchiita samunangagwa. Atidi izvozvo. Right. Guys, inini ndiri munhu anonakidza chinhu wani. I've never had a grudge against anyone. And tomorrow, I will sit down with them and we'll talk. But we need a clean country. We need clean leaders. So let's have clean leaders. I would like to thank all of you for watching. I'll see you again tomorrow. That is at 5 a.m. as I give you an update on all the trending news. It's a Saturday. So let me just go and do a bit of a treadmill. So every day, even though I don't work out that day, I still do a treadmill. Please support our sponsors. That is Mve. If you're in the UK, if you buy 1 packet of Mve, you're going to get 1 free packet of Mazondo Spice and support our website, shop.gambakwe.com. Let's do well. Let's build a beautiful, clean country. Atidi Mnangagwa. Mnangagwa's way of doing things must be gone. We don't want it. We don't want the same thing that Mnangagwa is doing in our country. We want a new country. I want you guys to come home. If I'm killed, the one thing that I want is for you guys to remember kuti you are not home. Musasekerere zvinhu zvakaora izvi zviri kuitwa navakomana. Ngativapei guidance. Discipline is key. Kana munhu asina discipline, hapana chatinoita munyika. Hapana chatinoita. Tongoramba tiri vanhu vari kumashure, vanosekwa, vanofira kuma foreign countries. Thank you very much everyone for watching, and I'll see you again tomorrow morning at 5 a.m. and a good night to you all.
Zvikana